Hi, my name is Susan Harney, and I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist as well as an EFT practitioner. And I wanted to make this video about myself so that you will better understand why I have such a huge passion for EFT and I've created this website. So let's go back 14 years because that's when I found EFT. I was attending a Greg Braden and Bruce Lipton conference in Southern California. And at the end of this 3-day conference, which was fabulous, Bruce Lipton gets up there in the last hour and he starts talking about this thing called energy psychology. And when he mentioned energy psychology, I immediately just lit up. And then he started talking about the different modalities, and one of which was EFT. And I remember looking over at my friend and I said to her, you know, one day I'm going to train in that. And I knew in that moment that this was the missing piece in psychotherapy. So let me back up a little bit. My childhood, as it's happened to many, was pretty traumatic, and I would be diagnosed with complex trauma as well as PTSD. I don't want to go into all the details of it, but that will give you an idea of the intensity of my childhood. I started drinking at the age of 11 in order to cope with all of the pain and anxiety and fear of those times. And the drinking worked, actually. And then at the age of 23, when it wasn't working anymore, God was able to relieve me of that obsession to drink. So I had the gift of having the need to drink removed, and I haven't had a drink since. After the alcohol was removed, though, all of the feelings began to come up, and so I needed to get into therapy. And I found an excellent therapist. Her name was Elizabeth James, and she was a very proper English woman. And I credit Elizabeth with literally saving my life, because at that time in my later 20s, I was very suicidal. And she helped me a great deal. But after 4.5 years, I left therapy and began, I was in school and getting my education, and feelings kept coming up. I kept getting triggered, and I was in and out of therapy for many, many years. And I hit what I call a brick wall. It was like, no matter how much I talked about my childhood and my trauma and wrote about it and cried about it, it wasn't enough. And then when I heard about this energy psychology, I realized that was the missing piece, because when you have trauma and you have painful memories, it is also stored at the cellular level as well as the etheric level in our aura. And these energy psychology tools actually moves it right out of the energy body. And so after that conference, I bought all of Gary Craig's DVDs, nearly all of them, and I began studying and using EFT on my own emotions. And I found tremendous relief, and it was the missing piece. And I believe the most effective psychotherapy is when we use EFT with it. It's imperative, if you're working with clients that have trauma, that you need to be using EFT or EMDR, either one of them. But again, I like EFT because people then can take that tool with them. It's something that they can use on their own, whereas EMDR is not. So that's why I'm so passionate about EFT. And now we're in this pandemic, and I believe more than ever, people need to have this tool in their toolbox. It's not a cure-all. I'm not claiming that. But it's one of those key tools that we all need to have, because you can use it anytime, anywhere, under any circumstances. You can always go off and tap for a few minutes to balance yourself if you've been triggered or you're feeling stressed or anxiety or whatever it is that's going on with you. You can use it virtually anywhere. And so it is my mission at this point in my life to get this out into the world. I've made a huge lifestyle change back in April of 2019. I sold my home and all of my belongings, and I bought a 23-foot travel trailer and a truck because I wanted more freedom. I wanted the emotional freedom that I'm feeling to now be expressed externally into the world, so I have external freedom as well. Because as you know, everything needs to come from within first. We've got to work on ourselves. And our world is changing, and it needs to change. But we need to change ourselves in order to help with the changing of the world into a positive, beautiful world that we all want. It all starts within. And EFT is one of the tools that I believe everybody needs to use, along with tons of other Reiki and cranial sacral therapy. There's tons of energy training out there, and I've done a lot of it, and it's all helped. All of it's helped. So I'm not saying EFT is the only one, but it needs to be one of the ones that we have. So that's a little bit about myself. Go ahead, take a look on the website. If you're an experienced EFT practitioner, I am selling my EFT training. I'm hoping that as we train more people in EFT and get more EFT practitioners out there, that people are going to start feeling better. It's been wonderful talking with you. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you. I wish you all the best. I wish you much love, and namaste.